anyone that watches the show knows that I love me some Tulsi Gabbard. I love her military policy, and for the things that take place domestically, I also like. This is not necessarily the totality of everything that she pushes, so fair enough. But at least from the standpoint of, can we stop engaging in this foreign militarism? I like. I like the fact that both parties has been giving her shit about this particular disposition. I like that. It's bucking the trend. Now, interestingly enough, Tulsi Gabbard went pretty hard at Donald Trump on Twitter. God, it sounds so ridiculous when you say it on Twitter. Hey, real Donald Trump, being Saudi Arabia's bitch is not America first. Ooh, that's a salty mouth you got there. Being Saudi Arabia's bitch is not America first. Now, I don't hate the sentiment. Fair enough. The sentiment, I agree with you. I don't think we should be anybody's bitch from the standpoint of foreign policy. I truly believe in this thing of America first on this point. Meaning, is it in America's best interest to be into one war after the next and spending $700 billion on the military while you have certain areas of the country that don't even have clean water? You're $20 trillion in debt. Should you be into these foreign wars in this way? So I like this. I like this disposition. I like her taking this particular footing. And I like her going after Donald Trump on this whole Saudi Arabia thing. Now, Tulsi Gabbard also has a history of going after some of the things that we've been doing around the world, such as funding terrorists in order to go into Syria to sow chaos and try to sever it off from Bashar al-Assad and topple that particular government. I like that she was against that. And I guess I'm making a point that she has a certain bearing that has pissed off both parties. And so this is not something that's uncommon for Tulsi Gabbard. So that's not my issue with this comment. The comment, her saying this, is in line with what she would typically say in the way that she would typically behave. There's no hypocrisy in that particular thing. The energy is straightforward. The energy is rather pure. This is what I've always said. This is what I'm saying now. One problem. You have a party, however, and you're attached to that party. Now, what I mean by that is, let's stop pretending that the events in history or the things that take place now are without context, that they just happen in a bubble of time, completely disconnected and severed from the history to which they've been they've been attached to. We don't get that break in history in this, and we have a political party, or Tulsi Gabbard associated with a political party, that whether or not Donald Trump is Saudi Arabia's bitch, the previous administration belonging to the party that she belongs to was just as much as their bitch if Donald Trump is also their bitch. I guess this relationship has gone and exceeded through both parties throughout the generations. And people are trying to whitewash Obama's hands of his interactions with the Saudis. He's the one that greenlit that war. The New York Times runs the article talking about Obama, eventually making the determination of allowing the war because he wanted to push through the missile deal with Iran. All of the blood, the rivers of blood, is essentially on the hands of the previous administration, and they're trying to pretend as if all of this is on Donald Trump. If indeed Donald Trump is Saudi Arabia's bitch, then so was the last guy that was in that office. That's my point. There's context. I've said on the show that when Aaron Busalmate is walking down the street, don't engage. This is a wild predator, and you avert your eyes and you walk in the other direction. Now, most people don't follow that advice, and I've been able to get several really good shows with Aaron Buzzsaw just eating through people who are either trying to whitewash the previous administration or who is trying to promote this kind of Russia nonsense. In this case, Mehdi Hasan engages, and on this particular issue. So, and it brings up a certain degree of hypocrisy in what Tulsi Gabbard is saying that these guys are pointing out. I love this. So again, multiple ideas on this. I like the tweet if the tweet was in a bubble. The problem is the tweet is not in a bubble. The tweet is not in a time capsule. There is no such thing as a bubble of time. There was a previous administration that just was obsequious, and you were attached to the party that was associated with that previous administration. Now, but there's more. I'm not joining in the lefty love for this tweet, nor his predecessors with pretty much the exact same policies were being Saudi's bitch. Saudi is a United States client state. And I mean, are we really still using bitch in this way in 2018? Well, yeah, she wants to be folksy in a political sense. I mean, it's this kind of faux interaction or this kind of faux intimacy. I'm trying to be intimate with you in the words that I use to make you feel as if we're just friends and buddies sitting somewhere having a drink. We're not friends and buddies somewhere having a drink, but that doesn't necessarily stop the propaganda and the language and the way that the language is being used to incite intimacy. At least that's what I think it's being used that way for. I don't think she's putting out a statement in a tweet that's unmanicured by, let's say, some of her handlers or some of the people who are in the room with her. And they have particular effects for the reasons that they're sending out the information. Aaron Matei is approached by Mehdi Hasan. Also, given Tulsi Gabbard's closeness to Assad, Netanyahu, and Modi, I'm not sure she gets to give lectures to Trump and MBS, to be honest. He's British, so he could be an asshole when he in a way he gives his language. Also, I don't know what the closeness to Assad means. I mean, ultimately, she went to try to get the United States to stop supporting terrorists around the globe. She has been straightforward on that particular issue, if nothing else. They're tarring this Assad shit. Also, Mehdi Hasan has had other ridiculous perspectives, especially with the Russia nonsense and with people wanting people to vote for Hillary Clinton. He doesn't care too much about this idea of democratic process, acting as if, the Green Party shouldn't have been able to run. But nevertheless, on this, he engages Aaron Matei. Match is on. This is a big dick contest. At least that's the way it comes across. And I strongly suspect that he's bringing up the Assad thing just to be a prick. But let's keep going. Also, given Gabbard's closeness to Assad and Netanyahu and Modi, not sure she gets to give lectures to Trump and MBS, to be honest. All right. Aaron Matei. I think she can give lectures to Trump and MBS. By that standard, who could? I found her support for Modi objectionable. Like, good, I'm glad you're being honest about it. But I'm not going to co-sign that she's close to Assad just because she opposes a proxy war. And I don't know that she's close to Netanyahu. Are you sure? I mean, I love this because he's making the point that, yeah, there's no closeness to Assad. You're bringing that up and being somewhat disingenuous and making a point, not understanding the distinction to say, I don't want to be involved in a proxy war. This country is $20 trillion in debt and shouldn't be involved in a proxy war. And hugging Assad. Those are two very different things. Even though Mehdi Hasan seemed to imply that those are the exact same thing. Aaron Matei, buzzsaw, separates. Creates a distinction. But the second part, Netanyahu. Why do you think she's close to Netanyahu? He asks. And right here. On July 29th, House of Representatives, with more than 100 co-signers from both parties, passed a resolution unanimously consent insisting that Israel attacks were exclusively focused on terrorist targets and that Israel goes to extraordinary lengths to target only terrorist actors. That's nonsense! That's a nonsense statement. Now, what does Buzzsaw say after this? Because Tulsi Gabbard has signed her name to that nonsense statement. Okay, fair enough. That's shameful. Buzzsaw walks away. is so epic. It's so epic, and it's so not. Fascinating. Like, usually what takes place is Aaron just eats somebody alive for pushing something, and it's like he was caught himself unawares. Now, in one case, defending and separating what needed to be defended, but in the other case, being straightforward enough to be like, fair enough, you got me. I didn't know that was there, and that was going to be that disgusting, but fair enough. I walk away, sir. Love it. Fucking love it. Alright, I'm not going to keep this one long. I saw this and I thought it was great. Bernie or Guillotine 2020. I'm thankful for Jamarl, but also my bottom bitch Tulsi calling Trump a bitch on Twitter. Why can't we appreciate both things? We can't appreciate both things. It's just, look, politicians use language like this to be folksy. I'm sorry. I hate it. I don't like it. It's Sanders ran his campaign. One of the things that Sanders and even Jeremy Corbyn has in common is that it comes across as just being people. Hey, that guy looks like a person to me. He sounds like a person to me. It's not just because he's pissed off when he's making a point, and it's not even that he's making good sense when he makes a point. He comes across as a person. Now, Jeremy Corbyn, if anybody has ever watched Jeremy Corbyn, even in PMQs, he brings up everyday concerns to the chagrin of the people in the office. When he first got the gig, he would sit up there and read letters from constituencies on the floor. And so it was an amazing thing to watch. And they were like, oh, God, he's bringing up this shit about people again. He's bringing up this shit about people again. Yes, he's bringing up shit about people. Regular human beings. And so what do politicians do at that point? We need to get folksy. And we need to mimic folksiness. We need to sound more authentic as opposed to just being authentic. Oh God. But yes, the faux intimacy